my Smexy Suckers. Welcome back to the Undecidedlover Baker channel. I'm feeling a little emotion today. I looked at my Facebook, and you know how like Facebook has like the memories and stuff. I looked at it, and today would have been a 2-year anniversary. So 2 years ago, on October 2nd, I made a relationship official on Facebook. And I don't do that, but I did. It was like my first like Facebook official boyfriend ever. And I loved him, but I never told him because it takes me a while to actually say it, but I did love him. And he loved me, or at least I thought he did. Today I wanted to introduce you guys to abusive relationships. So I didn't realize that I was completely in a abusive relationship until I was out of that relationship and I had fallen completely out of love with him. And it's sad to know that I knew that that was bad, and I never wanted to be in a relationship like that, but yet I ended up in one, and I didn't realize that I was in one. And like I know like friends who have been in them, and I always am telling them that you deserve better than this, and you don't need this, and you need to get out of this relationship, and I never realized how it felt until I was in this relationship. So it was like a good relationship. It was like I loved him, and he treated me well, and we went on dates and adventures, and I even took him to a wedding, and he impressed my dad. He even impressed my brother, which is not an easy thing to impress my brother. And I fell in love quickly, and I think it's because I opened myself up emotionally to him, and I don't do that. And physically, like I have never been a very sexual person. I think that your body is a temple, kind of, and you need to wait until you're completely madly in love with someone before you have sex with them. And I almost had sex with him. I will admit that. I was so madly in love with him that I didn't see that he was coercing me. I loved him so much that it felt like I was being hypnotized every time that we were around each other. I always wanted to be with him, and when I wasn't with him, I felt sad. And he always wanted to be with me, and when he wasn't, he was mad. And then eventually he started being mad in front of me. And he would like say nitpicky things about me, like about how I looked. And you know me, guys, I don't really like the way I look. I don't think that I look beautiful. And I know I'm not skinny. And I've dealt with some very like depressive and suicidal thoughts, and sometimes my anxiety gets the best of me. You guys know this about me. And I opened myself up to him about all of this, and yet he used it against me. He would say awful things about my body, and he would squeeze my fat, and he would pick me up even though he knew that I didn't like it because I felt gross about it. He would tell me that, like, he would point out my acne that I'm very self-conscious about, and I don't know, it's just like I felt like I needed to wear makeup around him, and I felt like I needed to do my hair around him. Like I felt like I needed to be pretty and skinny, or I didn't belong with him. And he made me feel that way. And there was this one day when I was having like a really bad day and I just wanted to sleep. So he came and picked me up, and we went to his house, which we had hung out at several times, and I just wanted to sleep, and I wanted to cuddle, and I wanted to sleep, and he kept touching me, and he kept moving himself onto me, and he was getting frustrated. And I know some of it has to do with his family life. I know that. But he didn't have to be as aggressive as he was that night. That night, he grew so angry at me for not letting him touch me in that way, or not letting him have sex with me, that he ended up throwing himself, pushing me down on the bed, and then he threw tools across the room, and then he threw a mason jar towards my head, which shattered, of course. And then after that, I had a mental breakdown and a panic attack because it gave me instant flashbacks, and I prayed that I didn't fall in love with someone who was going to hurt me in every way possible. And then I went back to him. And he grew angrier. He would say mean things about me. He would be more sexual sometimes. And other times he would be nice. And he would love me. He would bring me flowers when I was sick to celebrate our 2-month anniversary. Month-versary. He threw wrenches through windows. He literally bent his computer in half. He closed the computer and bent it. I don't know how, but I guess sometimes that happens when you're angry. And as I slowly fell out of love with him, I realized that I didn't deserve that. I didn't realize until after we were broken up and I had completely fallen out of love with him that I did not deserve to be hurt like that. It took me months to forgive myself for letting him do that to me. And sometimes I still look back on it and I think, what the fuck? And I know it's not completely my fault. It's not my fault that he changed in front of my eyes at all. But I did have an out. And I could have left that night that he threw a mason jar at me, but I loved him and I didn't want to leave. And now I understand that just because someone may realize that they're in an abusive relationship, it doesn't mean that they can leave. And it's not just because they're being coerced to stay, but it's the fact that they're in love and they feel like they can't move on. They feel like no one else will love them the way that that person is loving them, and that they only deserve that one person. And it's scary and it's sad, but that's happening all over the world, and it's not okay. 1 in 4 dating teens have said that they have been in an abusive relationship. Less than 1 in 10 teens have been in a digital abusive relationship. In the ages 16 through 24, females will experience abusive relationships. 16 to 24 years of age. This age group triples any other in abusive relationships. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Every 9 seconds, a woman is being abused, is being beaten, is being assaulted. Whether it be in an abusive relationship, a domestic relationship, or just plain abuse. Every 9 seconds. You can change that. Alright, I love you, Smexy Suckers. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that notification bell down below so you guys know when I post, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. I love you, Smexy Suckers, so much. Be safe, and peace out.